back. It's Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Our old friend, Greg Wrightstone. It's been far too long. We haven't had Gregory Wrightstone on the program. He is, of course, the author of InconvenientFacts.xyz. He's got a blog over there and, of course, the famous book, Inconvenient Facts, The Science That Al Gore Doesn't Want You to Know. He's got a newsletter. And great to catch up, Greg. How are you?
Oh, really good, really good. Waiting. We're supposed to get slammed with another snowstorm back here in Pittsburgh, and some more of that.
Oh.
We got another couple inches of global warming coming our way.
There you go. We're talking with Greg Wrightstone. And Greg, I wanted to ask you this. Now, we're at the end of 2020. It's been this extraordinary year in a million different ways. But early in this year, way back, I think in April or so, you had tweeted something about, hey, the first 4 months of this year, have dramatically. There's been CO2 emissions have changed, and you posted about this. 2020, the end of the year. Where are we on this question that that we're getting? If Biden becomes president, he wants John Kerry to renew the crazy policies and go that direction. But where are we on the science of what's happening in America, in the world?
Well, it looks like in 2020. It looks like we'll end up with maybe a 7 or 8% reduction in overall carbon dioxide emissions for the year, which is pretty significant. But think what we had to do to get there. And now we're really looking at the COVID, these lockdowns being a prelude and maybe a foretelling what's going to happen, what Biden wants to do with carbon dioxide and climate change lockdowns. It has to be this significant or more, because it hasn't affected. And I said the emissions have been reduced, but we have not seen one bit of a difference with atmospheric CO2. So even with all that pain we've gone through, there's been no atmospheric reduction in CO2. And they believe, just bear in mind that this is the demon molecule, carbon dioxide. I call it the miracle molecule, but they believe that the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere is kind of like the thermostat, where you can just dial it up and dial it down, and you can change the Earth's temperature. And it's just crazy.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
So has Donald Trump, by his policies, I guess it's hard to tell because of this pandemic, dramatically changed the economy and all, but I told people between the president's push to use nuclear and also his kind of make the world chip in on things and behave, how would you give his record after 4 years on getting things in the right direction?
Well, let's talk. There's nothing he's done on nuclear. I mean, he's not opposed to it, but we're not going to be building any new nuclear reactors. What he has done is he's freed up the free market system in the energy markets and allowed them to go. We're now self-sufficient in energy for both oil and natural gas, and it's been that expansion of natural gas that's really putting a lot of the coal-fired electricity generation out of business, because they just can't compete against this terribly low cost for natural gas. For example, Ed, your listeners may not realize it, but right now we're in the east here and across the United States, natural gas is selling at the wellhead for about $1.25. Back before the shale and fracking revolution hit, it was projected to get to $20 per MCF, 15 times what it is today. And so each one of your listeners, if they use natural gas to heat their home, they're probably saving $2,500 a year, and that's a significant amount. That's what,
right?
5 times what they're going to get for the COVID relief. The other thing to look at here, Biden, in his climate change proposal, he admits he wants to spend $2 trillion in the first 4 years of his administration. Yeah, like he's going to get a second term, but 4 years. That's $17,000 per household in the United States is what his climate change proposal would cost. $17,000 per household. And that's his vision for America. He wants $8 gas, but then again, you'll only be able to use that $8 gas until you're forced to sell your pickup truck, because of course, no, seriously, that's what he wants. He wants every single. They will be banned by 2050, and then that's what he wants. he wants you to go to electric cars. And, of course, if you're driving an electric car and getting electric, you need those batteries, and you're relying on child labor in Africa to mine the cobalt that's used for those batteries. And we're really going to be beholden to China for the rare earth minerals that are needed for solar panels and windmills. I don't know about you. I don't want to rely on China for something like that.
We're talking with Greg Wrightstone, and again, make sure you check out Greg Wrightstone's website. Always a ton there, and on the blog and also the book, Inconvenient Facts. Gregory, you're a Pennsylvania guy, and you watch the impact of the president's policies on fracking and other stuff. Do you look at the election and think there's no way this way it played out the way they say it did in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I know from my own personal experience how easy it would have been to cheat in this election. As you know, our eldest son passed away about 4 years ago unexpectedly, and we got in late September. I got a ballot for him, an application for him to vote, who's been deceased for 4 years. I mean, how easy would that have been for me to just send it in and have them send me a ballot, and then I could go vote for him?
Wow.
And that was just me. And how many times did that play out across wherever it was? And it's I don't know.
Well, and can I ask you about that, Gregory? Was that after the last election? So would it have been, did he die before the last president? No, I know, but had he voted in the 2016 election?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow, what a crazy! I hadn't heard. I mean, I wish I'd heard that story. That's what I mean. There's something going on dramatically. Well, all right. Now back to this. Back to the current moment on what you expect to see. Or I might want to ask you this one: what's the rest of the world done? They always threaten America. They always say America is the problem. What's the rest of the world done?
Well, we're really leading the world. Not in terms of renewables. That's probably Germany, and they're probably paying twice or three times as much for their energy and the electricity as what we are, and having all sorts of problems. But we're leading the world in terms of reducing greenhouse gas emissions here. And again, that's because of the free markets and capitalism. We're reducing it because we're freeing up the energy companies to go drill and exploit natural gas. And that business right now is in a real trouble because the price is just so low. And sometimes they're actually paying in West Texas in the Permian Basin. Some of these companies pay the natural gas company to take their gas. And so
really?
They can't flare. Because if they want to move the oil and get the oil out, well, there's natural gas that comes along with it. So in some cases they're paying, 15 or 20 cents per 1,000 cubic feet for the gas company just to take it. A lot of people don't know that. It's kind of crazy, the system.
What is your prediction in the next year or two? If it's a Biden administration, what happens? What do you think happens? Tell me what you think. I mean, and is he all talk, or is it going to go that direction?
Oh my goodness, he's not all talk. All we have to do is look at who he's named for his administration. He says all of his people in his cabinet and all of the cabinet level appointees are part of his climate change team. Everyone's going to work together. We've got John Kerry as the climate envoy. Can't you imagine? Now, John Kerry 3 years ago stated that no matter what the United States did for carbon dioxide emissions and greenhouse gas emissions, it wouldn't make a difference. And that's because China and India continue to increase year after year after year. And so no matter what we did, it wouldn't make a difference. Well, can't you imagine John Kerry going to China and coming back? He meets with President Xi and comes back waving a document that Xi signed and saying, "Oh, I've saved the earth. You know, we only had 12 years to survive, and now we've rolled. The Chinese are going to have agreed to reduce their carbon dioxide emissions by 2050 by X%, and now we can survive. I could see him rolling back these tariffs and other things that Trump has worked for the last 4 years to level the playing field. And then we've got you can just go down the list of these people. We've got Gina McCarthy as his climate czar, she's trouble. Kerry's kind of incompetent. Gina McCarthy is very competent, and she means business. Like O'Regan at EPA, Pete Buttigieg for transportation, just appointed Deb Haaland for interior, which is problematic. And these are true radical people that really believe that we need, the Earth is looking at an existential threat from climate change.
Well, it's going to be a worry, but maybe it probably is. If there's a President Biden and his administration, and I still hope there's not, we'll need more Greg Wrightstone to explain what's going on. Gregory Wrightstone, again, the website is inconvenientfacts.xyz. Merry Christmas, Gregory. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks, Ed.